essence of the moon, her second time here, and now we're gonna do the 10 of Cups, and she
Mhm.
got back from a vacation and had some interesting experiences that she'd like to share.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so we want to she'll tell you, just in case this is your first time here, she will tell you about her channel and what it is that she does. And then I'm going to turn the camera down towards the tabletop and I'm going to start shading away.
Sounds good. Thanks, Bill.
Hi, and
Hey,
welcome.
Ange.
Welcome, Ange.
Alicia, hello. Hola.
All right, let's do this. All right, almost smooth. Huh? Have to make the noises here. All right, and so your channel.
Yes. So, it's only like 2 months old. It's very, very, very new. I started off with just kind of testing the water with unboxings and the tarot decks and oracle decks. And I'm kind of liking more of the spiritual aspect of creating potions and sprays and oils and all of that fun witchy stuff. Like we just finished doing the February self love with Amethyst Ascension and Debbie and Carla. So it's been really, what's the word I want to use? It's been really enlightening to be able to do the February self love and really just to take care of yourself. Not that you're being selfish and you don't want to take care of anyone else, but just to take care of yourself, you know?
Hmm.
So it's been really a good thing to do
Is that just
and
for
something needed.
is that just for February, or is that just for pretty much for
It
all?
it is for February, but I have decided that I'm going to continue it and
Okay.
do it like every month, at least like do like a monthly self-love ritual for myself.
Hmm. And so, how does one of those rituals unfold?
Ooh, well, the last one I did that was um emotionally difficult was I had to write a love like a letter to myself. And that was really, really hard to be that intimate with yourself, you know? And so I did a love letter to myself. I did a candle ritual using different herbs and oils and just really putting in the intention of what I wanted for myself in the self-love aspect. And yeah, it was a very it was a very emotional one. I did cry doing that, and it was, it's not something that you do, you easily love and give your love to other people, to your spouse, to your family members, to your dog, but it's really hard to love yourself.
Yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
Lexi.
Mm.
So it was definitely needed, and I realized that it's something that I need to do monthly for myself. I have stuff that I have to internally work through, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. So that sense is a whole lot different than, let's say, journaling and things like that. But journaling, you could do that.
Oh, definitely.
Or you
I
could do
also
that if you wake up
Yeah.
in the morning, you look in the mirror, and you do all that stuff too. Or
Well, there was also, like, prompts that I had given myself, like, there was a self-love jar that, um, you can put in, like, love affirmations for yourself in there, but I did also affirmation like, not just affirmations, but I also did, like, go and look at yourself in the mirror and tell me 5 things that you see that you love about yourself.
Mhm.
which is hard to do, you're kind of rushing through the day. You're not really looking at yourself like that in the mirror to really pick out um, what you love about yourself.
Yeah, because especially it's very much easier to concentrate on those things you don't like about yourself
Oh,
and
very much so, yeah.
like,
I mean, for me, I'm a very critical person of myself. Not so much on anybody else, but it's myself that I really do criticize pretty heavily, and that's something I need to get out of my head and not do and kind of get past. Which
yeah.
is why I feel like doing the monthly ritual for myself is um, it'll help me.
So do you do that like around like a new moon or do you or with the planets um
I
or do
usually
you
like doing it on a full moon.
a full moon or
Mhm.
something
Or
like that?
anytime, or just anytime that I'm having a bad day, I feel like you can do it and
Mhm.
um, do some meditation prior, and then um, just kind of get yourself mentally in a mindset to do a ritual, and because it takes a lot of um, prepping beforehand, mentally.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Hmm. So I think for next month we're doing like a manifestation, kind of like prosperity work.
Mhm.
So there is a theme with the group that I'm in, but I'm still going to continue the self love rituals.
So, okay, so you're doing more potions and so
Hmm.
what exactly is a potion?
Oh, um, it just really depends what your intention is, what you want to create in a potion. Like, I recently did one called a transmutation. I had a conversation with with another content creator on what to do for instead of sending back the negativity that you're getting, why not transmute it into something positive for yourself? So if someone's sending you negativity, um, transmute that negativity into positive for you, to help you to be transmute that negative energy. So her and I were talking about that, and she created a potion which I recreated on my page. And it was a lot of just putting intention into the ingredients you were putting in that vial. Like we did grapeseed oil, we did lotus essential oil, lemon essential
Oh.
oil, vanilla essential oil. Um,
So do
she
you
did
want to
sandalwood, but I did cedarwood because I connect better with cedarwood. I mean, sandalwood is okay, but I don't really connect with that smell very well. Like, I don't really like it, and I
yeah.
prefer cedarwood over. So I did change some items, and then there was like lotus flower that I put in. Um, she used yarrow, I used dandelion leaf for
Yeah.
the transmutation properties, and then malachite chips.
So I want
Um,
to just for a second, I want to ask what direction did you want to go color wise? Did you want to go this way or do you want to go this way?
the other way.
The other way. Okay.
Yes.
Towards this way and then do you want to like end up in like a more purpley color down here
Yes.
or blue color?
Mhm.
You want it
Purpley.
purpley. Okay. All right. So I will go and so now go back to your potion. So when you make this potion, is that something that you drink?
Oh, no, no.
Oh,
It has grapeseed oil, so you don't wanna, I mean, I guess you probably could, but,
oh,
no, say you work in a work environment that's really, you have a bunch of hostile employees or coworkers that you don't like,
I
and
see.
or they don't like you. So before you leave your house and, um, you're going into work, you will grab that oil. Um, you can put it in your hair if they have like, there's some type of jealousy towards you. You can anoint yourself with it. So just to Kind of it's like a protection, like a barrier.
Oh,
Mhm.
anointing. Okay, so like that's sort of in the
And
sense that you have your that ritual within the mass is all about with an anointing of oil for during Holy Week or
mhm.
so that's kind of the same concept.
Yep, and then I did make some for Anne. She mentioned it that, I actually mailed it to her house, and she said it smells wonderful. She said she wasn't someone that used, oil, but I went ahead and made one for her and sent it to her.
Yeah. How much does it cost to send a package to?
Oh, it was very expensive.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it was very I mean, I can see why there's a lot of, issues with, like, Hay House or Llewellyn or any of those, companies to send decks to Canada because it was very expensive.
yeah. I shipped something overseas once and it costed
Mhm.
gosh, it was like $70 for shipping or something like that for
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, well, mine was not too far from 70.
Yeah, well,
But
probably
but it's okay. I mean, I sent her a deck and then I made her an oil and sent that to her.
mhm. So probably if I were to ever send and one of my homemade decks, it would probably be easier for me to instruct her on how to make one. And
Yeah, but I
because
wanted
with
to make it for her.
I understand that. I understand that.
Mhm.
That's the thing is I like making those too. And
Mhm.
you know, a with one of my like my losing scratch ticket deck. I have a lot of those on hand because there was a point in time where when I could afford it that I was
Mhm. It's
buying.
okay, Ange. It was my pleasure to send that to you, regardless of the price.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my son's on here.
Your
Hi,
son is on.
honey. Yeah, my he's in Texas, but
Mm,
he's
well,
on here.
yeah, yeah. Well,
So it's Crook D Ty is my son Tyler.
Crook tie.
Mhm.
Interesting. Well, welcome.
He's a lot like me with like spiritual he's a very spiritual kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's very much a chip off the old block.
yeah. So yeah, it's kind of interesting because I was like trying to figure out where that came from in my family because it's like I was kind of sensitive in those ways my
Mhm.
entire life.
I mean,
It
I feel
really.
like we all have abilities. It's just for example, some when growing up, if you are having an experience and you tell your parents and they don't believe you, then they'll tell you, "Oh, that's not true," or "That's just
Mhm,
imagination." Then I think you condition your brain to think that it's not true, that it's not happening. Um, if you have parents who understand it, and I'm not going to say encourage it, but don't discourage it. I think it's something that they continue to grow up with. Like for example, my kids. I have three boys. Youngest is 20, oldest is 26. And when I would go to work, being a single mom, I was divorced. They would always say, "I see Grandpa at the top of the stairs, or I see him at the door," and that's my dad. He's been gone since '93. And
mhm.
I would tell them instead of saying, "No, that's not true," or "That's not happening," I would say, Grandpa's just here to take care of you guys and watch you while I'm at work. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen.
93. My grandmother
So,
died in
I would
90,
like, oh, really?
yeah, in
Yeah.
October. Then her
Yeah.
husband
My
who
dad
she
died on Easter Sunday
yeah,
in 93.
93. Then my grandma
Mhm.
93 and her ex-husband died 3 months later and then their best friend died right in between that time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so my son just said smelling the roses all the time,
Mhm.
and I hate roses for the fact that it reminds me of my dad, but I always
Oh,
smell them. Yeah, because when my dad passed away, um, there was lots of roses in the house, and, I still can't really tolerate the smell of roses.
hmm. All right. So, what do you think of the coloring so far? Am I
Yeah,
doing
it's
all right?
going good. Yeah, it feels like a sunset.
The sunset.
No, yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like a sunset to me.
Well, we're trying to create that
Mhm.
jubilation kind of a feeling
And I mean,
here.
and this card, the 10 of cards is like it's one of my favorite cards. I was so happy when you chose it. Um, because it's just the fulfillment, the you mean you see the couple there, they're excited, they're happy, they're looking up towards the cups, and the kids are just they're not really looking up, they're looking towards each other, but they have a different sense of fulfillment. And
Yeah.
and it's sheer joy, happiness.
Yeah. Because the choices I had was this one and this one, the
Oh,
tower. But I'm gonna do the tower um with Elizabeth
oh, nice.
next week. I think we're gonna.
I think she pulled a tower card for me recently. I think it was her,
Yeah.
or maybe it was Heather. I don't know.
Yeah. When I first started doing tarot, I was pulling that card for myself all the time.
Ooh,
But I think it was that it was I was learning and being new with tarot, I was constantly feeling overwhelmed by it.
oh, gotcha. I mean, that's the same with like the devil card. People see the devil card and they're like, oh my God, or the death card. Oh, that's horrible, but it's really not, you know? I mean, I don't fear getting the devil or the death card in my readings. The swords I fear because I hate the swords. I
Mhm.
hate the wands. To me, those are just it's that hard work that you have to put in.
Yeah. And hmm, yeah, sorry, I got distracted there with someone asking me a question, like how to use the remote control on the TV.
Oh,
Kind of a question. Yeah.
is
Hmm.
that your mom?
Yeah. Yeah. And well, it's not that TV controls are not that easy to.
No, and they're all different.
They're all different, and then
Mhm.
and then if you're like a person who gets really overwhelmed by computer things, it just seems like an overwhelming thing to.
Yeah, it's a task.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Alicia said, "I was taught that the death card was transformation or changes, so never feared it." Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way, Alicia.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I guess when I was pulling that tower, that was because I was feeling overwhelmed, and when I feel overwhelmed, I tend to pull that card for myself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's funny how you depends on how you're feeling is you kind of get these cards, the same cards over and over again, like Ange with her. What card is it that you're always pulling, Ange? It's like a seven of swords or wands, or I feel like it's a seven of something.
Yeah, I tend to.
And she's
If
been pulling that card continuous.
Yeah. Well, if I'm really emotionally charged, I don't even touch the tarot.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. No.
if
You have to be in a good space mentally to be able to do that.
if
Which
I'm
is why I understand them. Seven of Pentacles kept coming up a lot for several weeks, is what
Mhm.
Ange said.
Yeah,
Which I
if I'm
understand, like the tarot readers, like when Ange and Elizabeth and Heather and they all do their tarot readings. I
Mhm.
understand why they set a time limit because it's exhausting,
Yeah, well,
you
yeah,
know?
because I think that I've done it just a couple times, and I think the
Mhm.
first time I got really tired after like 90 minutes. Like that was just three.
Yeah, because 'cause you're getting all this information, all these downloads, so
Yeah.
it's a lot. I mean,
Well,
that's how it
Yeah.
is for me, like, when I go to these places where there's, like, activity, like I was just telling you backstage,
Mhm.
um, and I'm gonna tell the rest of the people on here, but, see, Anne said, "Yes, very exhausting." So,
Yeah.
when we were in, Fort Pulaski in Savannah, Georgia, um, when I walked into the prison that they converted for the Confederate soldiers after the Union took it over, and I picked up a piece of brick that was on the floor, like it had broken off from the ceiling or something. And I picked it up and I put it down. Um, I instantly had pain on my right leg and I had a killer headache. Like it just
Hold
hit
on a
me, this
second.
headache.
I gotta I just keep talking, I'll be right back.
Yeah. So then I got like this really bad headache and I got like this deafening buzzing in my ears. And it was like my guides telling me to, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you touching this? Because you know you shouldn't be touching stuff. Because I am so empathetic and I can easily pick up on energy on different items. Um, so this was like 3 days ago. My leg pain is finally going away. Oh, Alicia just said interesting about being emotional. I tried today, but my energy was so antsy, I just couldn't make myself open the deck. Yeah. And I mean, and I have those days too, Alicia, like when I'm trying to do a self-love and I just can't, I just can't do a spread for myself.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay, so I'm back, sorry.
Yeah, so that was my experience at Fort Pulaski. And then as I was telling you again, Bill backstage, my husband and I, we were driving somewhere, but nobody was around us. It was just me and him in the car with our dog. And then we heard both of us, we heard, "Hey, you." And I'm looking
Mm,
around, I'm looking at him, and he goes, "What?" And I'm looking at him like, and I said, "What?" to him because he thought I said something to him. He thought, and I thought him to me. And neither
mm,
one of us were said, "Hey, you." So
mm.
him and I get a lot of experiences together. And I think he's picking up on a lot of that because of being around me.
Yeah.
Like when we were in Gettysburg, um, we go there like 4 times a year because we're so close to it and we love going to these parks. But my first experience in Gettysburg, the moment we crossed into Gettysburg, my first time, I was instantly just bawling, crying.
Mm,
And I'm sitting in the back seat with my mother-in-law, and he's in the front with my father-in-law. And he sees me in the rearview mirror, and he's like concerned. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm just feeling this intense sadness and overwhelming emotion that it's really I can't contain it." And I was on and off crying the whole trip. And we went to where the where the battle ended, and it was like where the copse of trees was at. And as I'm walking towards him, I almost fell because I felt like my leg was knocked out from underneath me. And he's like, "Well, do you know why?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, he's like, "You know where you're at?" I'm like, "No, I don't know where I'm at. I've never been here." He's like, "This is where all the cannons were going off, and you
mm,
probably had felt um, the leg of a soldier being knocked out from underneath him." So I
huh,
was like, again, I had leg pain for a couple days after that.
interesting.
Mhm. So I'm
Yeah, I
like
can
super empathetic and I can pick up on energy, and he'll occasionally have me grab one of his items. He likes military items and he's like, "Can you touch this for me and see if it's real?" So
mm,
I'll hold on to it and I'll either get um, a, a piercing headache or like nausea. Couple times I've tasted blood. Like we went to Minuteman Park out by in Massachusetts, going towards Salem, which is where Paul Revere was at, and the Boston Tea Party and all that stuff happened there. And this was my first time going there. So as I'm walking there, I had again the piercing headache, and I'm tasting blood.
so where are your headaches located at when you get this?
Just like right on my right hand side. Everything pretty much hits me on my right hand side.
Mm. 'Cause see, I get migraines, and but then they since like summer. I feel like the migraine pain is migrated to like to the side of my head and other
Mhm.
places.
Yeah, mine's on my side of my head,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
and then I'll get, like, nausea, um, I get faint is another one that happens with me often. We were in Salem, Massachusetts, the week my husband and I got married there, and we were by, the cemetery, and I got super faint. I had to hold on to him because I was gonna fall over, and, um, it happened to be right where one of the, judge's relatives was buried.
hmm.
That
Oh,
headstone was right next to me, like I think it was a hawthorn.
the hawthorns.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
speaking of my son, if he's still on here, he has family that's also from Salem.
yeah, because I got like, what do I have?
Mhm,
Like my Mayflower parents are John Howland and Elizabeth Tilly.
mhm.
They were indentured servants to John Carver, and then their daughter Hannah. That's my so that would be the
Mhm.
first generation, and so on that line I have one signer on the Constitution,
Oh,
um,
cool.
and three presidents.
Nice.
But all those presidents have been this century or this last century actually because the
Yeah, Bush.
Bush, yes.
Mhm, both of them.
Yeah, but
And then
yeah,
who's the other one?
it's the other one is FDR.
Okay, that's right. We did
Yeah.
go see his, library.
Hmm.
Have you been to it?
No, I haven't. I haven't been east of Idaho.
What? You need to make your way out here, Bill.
I don't. I don't. When my numbers come in, when my numbers come in, my lottery numbers. When my lottery numbers come in, then I'll be able to afford that my dream vacation, which would be to take the Amtrak across the
Oh,
country
yeah.
with the
So do you
sleeper.
see people doing that on YouTube? Do you watch them do that?
I used to. There was a guy I used to watch uh, during 45's administration. Um, I'm really trying to not pay attention to political news too much,
Yeah, I don't blame you.
but I
So
still,
Ange
yeah.
so Ange just asked, "Do you find it helpful to put up an energetic protection before leaving the house?" Well, I don't leave the house often, Ange. I work from home, but when I go to these places, I am learning to kind of hold in my energy. Because when I'm out there, when I was unprotected, I was like a octopus with all my hands everywhere, just feeling in on everything, all the energy. And now I've I've learned to like mentally think of a dial, and I'm dialing down my
Oh,
energy so I'm not picking up on everything around me. But I also do take like protective crystals, um, um, different herbs. I do, like, I'm always wearing crystals. But yeah, so I do that too to kind of protect, but then I do visualize like an energy barrier around me.
had to go operate the TV again. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah. Okay. So, what color do you want the cups?
Oh, definitely like that bronzy color.
The bronze color.
Hmm.
All right. So we got. All
So
right.
Ange said she's an extreme empath and she has to put up an energy shield or bubble every time she leaves the house or before she goes live. No, I totally get your when before you go live, Ange. I think you and I were chatting one time and you had like an hour before live and you said, "Oh, I have to go and get ready." And I automatically knew that you had to kind of mentally and physically protect yourself before that live.
Yeah, I kind of like. I just go.
I mean, I did now too. Like I did a whole ritual before I came on live.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No. Sometimes I just like to feel the energy, so I don't do anything.
You like to feel the chaos, Bill?
Yeah, yeah, I do, because
So you're living on the edge, huh?
living on the edge. But what sometimes it might just mean that I'm going to, if it gets things get too intense.
Yeah, then you can start to kind of just put up that barrier that you need to do.
Hmm. Well, I think that I don't know, because I don't know that I really had. But when you go back to like hearing those voices, I have had
Hmm.
that stuff like while I was sleeping, oftentimes.
Sleep paralysis, have you had that?
Oh, absolutely. But one
Okay.
of the things that's kind of unusual is that when people just pass away, they seem to make a stop at my house.
Like anybody that you know, I'm assuming
Yeah,
not just a random soul
not people that I know, yeah,
spirit. Oh, okay.
a lot of
Probably
time.
because they know that you can hear them and they want to send a message.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's I find that to be an honor and a privilege if they do that, that they
Hmm.
thought of you and they knew to come to you. I told my kids that when I pass away, um, you know how they do like angel or saint cards at the funeral? Well, first of all, I'm not having a funeral, but you know how they do angel cards and stuff like that?
Yeah,
I want to have a Ouija board on the back of the card.
a Ouija board on
If
the back of the
and that
card.
if you want to contact me, grab a Ouija board.
Oh, hmm.
But then
So,
again, a Ouija board I mean, it's another form of divination, but at the same time, it has a lot more rules than a pendulum or tarot deck. Like my
mhm.
son, I don't know if he's still on here, but um, I don't think he is on here, but he wanted to play the Ouija board, and I gave him like a whole list of specific instructions, step by step, on what you should do and what you should not do when playing with the Ouija board. He's yet to play with it.
Yeah, I think I talked about before when I was a kid playing with a Ouija board, and I was the one who's directing it to all across the board. Well,
Yeah,
while everyone else had their eyes closed, I was like moving it around. Oh, it's over here. It's that and that. You know.
yeah. I mean, when
Yeah.
I was in Salem, I did buy a Ouija board.
Oh. So what did you get using the Ouija board while you were there in
I
Salem?
haven't used it since I bought it.
Oh, I see.
It actually
Is
should
it,
probably
is
be
it,
here.
is it
Um,
like a specific? Is it like the game one, or is it like a more advanced one?
um, it's based on the Halloween, like the movie, the Halloween movies, like that franchise.
I
I
thought
think it's
maybe.
Halloween. I think it's
Okay, I thought
Halloween
maybe.
3, and then it glows in the dark. And it was
Oh.
made by the person who owns the Spirit Board Museum in Salem, which is a really good museum to visit if you ever do make your way out there. The gentleman there, the owner, is such a character to talk to. Just he has so many great stories. And even when I was in his museum, my husband and I, there was a lot of energy that really creeped me out. Like, there was this one room that I refused to walk into because I automatically, as I tried to cross that barrier, I had, like, the worst feeling, like a doom and gloom feeling.
Hmm. Yeah, because sometimes I wonder when I have those kinds of those kinds of things, if those are like, because I sometimes have this sense of like
Here's my
disembodied.
board. See, it's still in a box.
Yeah. Oh,
So it's a glow
it's
in the
like
dark Halloween,
glow
and
in the
then
dark.
here's the back of it. So it has, like, the Halloween mask.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. because sometimes I feel like I get what I call disembodied emotions.
Oh, yeah.
Emotions that I don't know where they're coming from. Are they is it me? And I've been that way for
Oh,
most of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
And
No.
so
Mhm,
sometimes it would be like, okay, well, maybe, because men have a tendency to not be in touch with themselves. So it might be that way, and so maybe it is my emotions, but then sometimes I just don't know. I don't know if this is something that I am feeling, or is it something that is coming from someplace else?
mhm. I totally so you were definitely an empath because 'cause I'm the same way.
Yeah,
Um, I can pick up on other people's energy if they're having a bad day, a good day. I can even when I'm at work and I work remotely, um, even I can feel someone's energy through the computer. One
yeah,
of my coworkers, and I'll reach out to them, "Are you okay? How's it going?" Like, I can feel it. Even, Ange said, "No Ouija board for me. When I die, let me rest in peace."
yeah.
And then Alicia said, "When I was a kid, we used the Ouija board, and we asked what was afterlife, and the spirit told us love, only love."
Mm,
And then Lexi mentioned that there was a discussion tonight about the Ouija boards, and I was in that discussion with Kristen and Heather and Allison. So,
mm,
but even like when some of the lives, these, um, like with Ange or Heather, and people are asking questions, and I'm on, I'm not physically there or anything like that. Oh man, I can feel it. Like I can feel the sadness that they're going through, or um, it's painful. Like I think Bobby had one last night, and the lady asked the energy around her child, her son, who's dealing with stuff. Um, I mean,
well, yeah.
I felt extremely sad for that lady. Like my heart was hurting for her.
Well, I know that I definitely do not like chaos,
Mm-mm.
and people with that have a lot of angry emotions. I it really bothers me.
Which is why now, like, I mean, I worked in a hospital for 22 years, 21 years. And being an empath, it was very hard working in a hospital and being a lead. Everyone was like, Selena, I need help. Selena, I need help. Selena, I need help. So, and then doing like three jobs at one time, and then dealing with the emotions of walking by a patient's room or anything like that. It was really hard for me. So I took like a 2 month break when I left that job. And then I found a job remotely, and I'm happy working from home. Like, I don't deal with people's energy.
Yeah, maybe that's probably why I couldn't handle working at that casino.
Oh, yeah, especially the noise.
Well,
I wouldn't be able to handle the noise.
you talk about the noise. I don't think that that's what
No?
the issue.
So the combination of, like, the noise and the energy of people winning, people losing, the
Because
distress that people had from people losing.
I think it's that I don't like to be around people who are intoxicated.
Oh, yeah, because you can pick up on their energy.
Yeah, 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 and so it's just like that then they get really confrontational
Mhm,
sometimes. And it's like when I get too overwhelmed with that energy, I sort of short circuit, and, it gets to be it gets just kind of short
mhm.
circuit, and so what do you think so far?
It looks beautiful. That's exactly what I had envisioned.
Is what you envisioned?
Mhm.
Well, I guess maybe I'm picking up on things. Hopefully the energy that I have is not stressing you out or
No, I mean, you were my first live, so,
yeah.
you made me feel comfortable during my first live, and this is now my second live, and I'm doing 2 more in March.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I think when I people describe my energy when I was younger is like I was like a stable rock.
Yeah, it's a very inviting energy.
Yeah.
Hmm. And calming, especially like watching you color. Oh, let me show you what I did while I was on vacation.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Because you got one of those Van Gogh pocket boxes, and this was
That's
the
exactly what I was gonna say. Oh, that's
yeah, I
beautiful.
did it in, like, 4 different sessions, and now I'm in the process of doing a doing the same image multiple times,
That's a
and
beautiful, beautiful coloring, and can I see that again?
yeah, I did. This is, both acrylics and that Van Gogh pot.
Wow, that's gorgeous. I love that.
Mhm. Yeah, so, if I were to,
Thank you,
um,
Alicia.
kinda disrupt my little altar back here and show you my reference photo.
Oh, I like yours better, but that's a really good reference
Yeah,
photo, but yours is really, really good. Like, the
mhm,
coloring
mhm,
on that is
yeah,
incredible.
yeah, 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 it was like
So,
anyway,
I've never watercolored, painted
you
anything ever, and, watching you do this with the water paints and the you giving me the idea to buy that Van Gogh set, which I have right here.
yeah,
I did my first painting, so, well, it was
yeah,
just like a really quick doodle, but I had pulled a Goddess Oracle deck, and in that Goddess Oracle deck, it mentioned, like, doing something creative that you wanna do and or enjoying, um, a treat. So I had a bottle of wine. This was my last day on vacation, and I'm like, "Let me just go ahead and pull out my watercolor and just see what I come up with." So, don't laugh at me, Bill, okay? So this is what I ended up coloring. I didn't end up painting, and she's a little bit lopsided, but
it's a pumpkin with a
with a witch's hat and just a little crescent moon. And this was just really quickly as I was drinking some wine and relaxing before we were going to head out to go look at the sunset and go look at more go pull more shells. I came home with a lot of shells from my trip and a starfish. I came home with a starfish.
yeah,
And Lexi gave me instructions on how to dry him up. So he looks
yeah.
pretty good, Lexi. Thank you.
So this stone here came from Istanbul.
Ooh,
One of my friends who he's
thank you,
been
Lexi.
I haven't seen him for years, but he's been in Istanbul. He's been in Turkey for quite a few years.
So how does
Um,
that feel to you in your hand? Like what do you feel from it?
well, it's always has a very cool energy to it, and it's it's just sort it's yeah, it's just very cool,
Hmm.
cooling kind. But it's not a hot feel. It's not like
Like some
maybe
of them do have like a warming sensation to them, like depending on how you're connecting to it.
yeah. So this always feels like that. It always has this cool, calm feeling to it.
Hmm.
And that's that. Then there is this I found in the ditch near
Ooh,
where my dad died. Because my dad died,
okay.
and he died. He either had a stroke or a heart attack,
Hmm.
and then he lost control of his vehicle and he slammed into the front of a bus.
Wow.
And then he died in his vehicle, of course, in the ditch, and this was near where he died, and it does just feel like a big chunk of iron,
Hmm.
Mm. you know. And then I do have some like these ones are they're not real. These are kind of like made stones, so there's not like a. It has more of a.
We need to send you some crystals, Bill.
Yeah, I don't know if I really am into crystals that much, but I do have a whole jar of things that I brought back from Israel with me, which was the farthest east I'd ever been.
Oh, nice. My friend was there and she brought me back some Dead Sea salt and like a candle, and she brought me back like some body stuff and some
Yeah,
herbs. 'Cause she
Yeah,
also
so
went to Turkey. Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, this is all stuff from that trip, and
Oh, nice.
shower cap, soap. This is an Egyptian
Yeah, she brought me
powder.
back soap too.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
nice. It's got a nice sandalwood smell to it. And then there's like some shells and some rocks from the Mediterranean Sea.
Mhm.
Yeah. And this was a spoon that we played the spoon game where we just see how long if you blow on it and see how long you can make it stick to your nose before it fell off, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah. It's kind of nice to have these kinds of relics.
Mhm. Little, knickknacks, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Get-
mean, I brought back so many from this trip. I My poor husband, I was like, "Let's go look for shells," and of course, I bring, like, a bunch of them. I bring so many different I brought bags and bags of shells.
Yeah, well, at least, I mean, it could be worse. You could be going out and then you come back with a whole suitcase full of Elvis clothes, right?
Did you do that, Bill?
No, no, I didn't. But
Okay.
I was like that was like an episode in the show Coach, where
Oh,
Luther
okay.
Luther they go to Graceland and Luther buys all this knickknacks of Elvis paraphernalia and everything. And well, let's go down to these things. What are you thinking here? You want to
Mm,
do? You want to do the land?
I wanna give it, like, a green color.
What is it? Green color?
Yeah, like a prosperity.
All right. Let me just go into the green section here.
That 3rd one on the right. Kinda like a lime the
This one.
one I'm not sure, I'm debating between those 2, the limey one, the 3rd one or the 4th one? What do you think, Bill?
Why don't we just take them both?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So probably like I'm thinking that's probably water too, isn't it? Or like flowing.
Yeah. Okay. So there's water there. So we
Mhm.
will not color the water green. Or like how they used to be, where after they've or some company dumped a whole bunch of toxic waste into them, and they were kind of yellow colored, and then you could strike a match and they just burn.
Yeah, we don't want them burning, Bill.
Yeah. No. You don't want that,
No.
but yeah. Hmm. Okay, so that is that. And did you want that water just like plain blue?
Yeah, blue would be good.
Okay. But going back to these, so you had that. So would as an empath, would going to Auschwitz be something that of the horrors of what went on there?
Oh, no, I would not be able to.
Yeah.
No, I would be an emotional, mental wreck and in physical pain.
Yeah. Hmm. That's interesting because it's kind of funny. Before I like saw like a neurologist about my migraines, I was like
Mhm.
thinking, well, because I used to have all kinds of bizarre experiences, and I actually didn't realize that they were migraines in my sleep. But you do create all kinds of explanations for why
Mhm.
you're having the
Yeah, you
sensations,
do.
and I think with my sister has migraines too, and I guess it
My
was like, well,
son,
we
yeah.
we thought we were psychic until we realized you had migraines.
Yeah, my
But
son,
maybe
I mean, he's had migraines since he was like 3 years old. He always complained of a headache, always.
yeah. Not all of my migraines. I don't always get headache pain with my migraines
I
because
thought
the
people,
headache pain, that's just one of the symptoms, and there's
yeah,
lots
I
of
mean,
different.
and he said every day still, so he has
Mm.
chronic migraines.
Yeah, I had a bizarre experience when they put me on an everyday drug, and
Yeah,
I mean,
so did my son. He had a really bad experience with everyday drug.
yeah, I was only on it for like 6 weeks, and then I almost got fired because I was like, it made me super aggressive,
Mhm.
and didn't quite. I didn't, and what well, essentially what it did was it made the wall between the subconscious and my conscious mind really, really thin.
Mm.
And so I had when my a classmate of mine committed suicide, I knew it, but I didn't know that he committed suicide. But I had on the day that he did it, I had visions of someone hanging, or hanging,
Wow.
and um, and then that was, and that was, I think it was that drug was not. I mean, I think that the drug uh was like intrusive thoughts, giving you things that are just in your subconscious coming
Mhm.
out. It wasn't like, I don't think it was me hanging, but it was somebody hanging.
Yeah,
And
so my son said it made him feel super different. He didn't feel like himself, and he got heavily depressed after taking them for, like, 4 months. And I know he
yeah,
did mentioned, hurting himself.
yeah, I didn't really have that kind of thing going on, but like I say, it was that but it was that week I lost two classmates. One of them may have been to murder, and the other one was
Wow.
suicide. But with um the one who hung himself, it was more or less that I had found out at that after he died that he had been hiding a meth addiction since he was like a
Oh,
teenager, and he it got out of control. And then well, it things turned, and then the appliances in his house started talking to him, and then he fired a gun off in his house to try to silence the voices that he was hearing out of the fans and everything else. And then, which of course the cops came over, and he ended up in jail. And but he was a professional, as a land surveyor.
wow.
And then he was able to save his license, providing he was able to stay clean. But then I guess I had talked with, a few years later, I had talked with one of his uncles, and he said, well, no, it was that he was, he failed to stay clean, and then he didn't want to go back to jail. And then that was how it, he just said, I just didn't want to go to jail. And then he just decided that he had enough of life here.
Yeah.
And it was very sad because I wasn't the only classmate that I lost to suicide, but the other one could have also have been murder as well. They
Mhm.
didn't they didn't really know for certain, but I don't know. So I should probably add some other
Some
colors into this.
shading. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna run in some yellow in it as well. Yeah. So
So let's
I don't
change
know
it back
about.
to the happiness of 10 of cups.
Yeah, yeah,
I know
yeah.
Ange is like, "I should have energetically protected myself before this life."
Oh, I'm sorry, Ange. I
Sorry,
didn't,
Ange.
didn't mean to to be such a downer here.
Oh, Angie.
Mm,
Yeah, that's definitely
mm,
a tough one. I'm so sorry.
mm. Because she has with her history. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah. What color do you want the tops of the trees? Do you want them like traditional
Yeah,
colors?
let's do like
A
a
brownish.
brown. No, a green.
Well, you could do it more like uh, like one of these, like something like this, or
Oh, that's a good
maybe,
idea. Yeah, it's like
maybe
it's in the fall time, like
yeah,
approaching
maybe
fall.
like this, and then maybe we can add in some green and some
Yeah.
yellow there,
Mhm.
and because anyway, since many of these trees also have some of the sky sort of um carryover on there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm. Back to the 10 of cups, and but in your experiences as an empath. Well, one of the things that, if can talk about, I was going to talk about this earlier, but then my mother was having a remote control crisis,
Yeah.
and and but but it was about, and I realized that I've done this. I just, because people, when I was like at going to college, or was with in my first, I went to a junior college first before going to
Mhm.
a full, and people that I went to high school with, and they had talked about one of the things I had done would be I would look at a person and I would completely create their entire backstory
Oh,
just by
nice.
some means. and
Mhm.
and I'm and thinking, and then just the other day I was walking out, taking mother and the dog for a walk, and
Mhm.
I I had there was a person, and I had did that again, which reminded me that I used to do that all the
Yeah.
time.
I love people watching.
And I is so maybe that is that kind of an empath thing to do, is to.
I mean, I think you are probably picking up on you probably aren't wrong many times when you're
Mhm.
talking about, like, doing a backstory for them. I think you're probably picking up on that energy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was like that, and well, there was another thing that was about talking to a person, and I would be, well, let's say I'd had a confrontation with somebody at work,
Mhm.
and then I would say what I felt that that person said, and then the other person would be say, that person didn't say any of that stuff. Well, this was what I said. Well, that's what their energy said. That's what they told me. They told me, it was because their energy, when they spoke with me,
Mhm.
said something totally different than what it was that. And I always would make, I rarely would ever report back what the person actually said, but I always would report back what I felt that they said, what they
Mhm.
wanted. It's what they wanted to say.
Oh, I do that a lot too, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do that with my husband, and he gets, like, frustrated
I never said
because
that.
I tell him, and he says, "I never said that." I'm like, "No, but you were thinking it, and I know you were."
Yeah.
Or, "That's how you really felt about it." And
Mhm.
then he just looks at me like, "What is wrong?" But I mean, he knows who I am and what I am, so
Yeah. Yeah, so that must be just like an empath thing
mhm.
that you're doing that.
Hi,
Now,
Mama Sushi.
yeah, welcome, Mama Sushi. So what, this little house here, what color do you want that?
Um,
You want like a big bright pink house or something?
oh, sure, let's do that. That's fun. Why not?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's our
Festive.
yeah, that one. Oh, that one,
This one
the one that's sticking up.
sticking
That
out.
one.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah.
'Cause why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Mhm.
It
It's
kind of
like
blends in.
it's like the equivalent of having a purple door for a witch.
A purple door, yeah.
Mhm.
Had a big red door or something like that.
Yep.
What movie was that they had? Oh, that was that movie, American Beauty, was it? They had a big red door in the front door.
Oh, I don't recall
Well,
that. Mm-mm.
Kevin Spacey and but after Kevin Spacey got busted for that thing, I can't seem to make my get around to being watching a Kevin Spacey movie.
Good night, Lexi. She has to get up early to take her daughter to work.
Oh, yeah.
Have you met Lexi? Have you talked to her on here?
I think I have
Mhm.
yeah.
Alexis Milner?
Alex- Yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit of this brown into your grass
Oh,
over.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting really close to being done here,
Yeah, I see that.
and got a little shading hmm. And so what about the ground that
They're
they're on? What about here?
I'm kind of thinking it's like a dance floor because the kids are dancing, so I'm thinking like some light colored brown. I don't know.
Okay.
Because to
All
me,
right.
I mean, I'm the way I see it right now, I see them dancing. So I'm thinking a dance floor.
Well, that makes sense. So we could do this here's an orangey browny color.
Oh,
And
and said checkered dance floor. That would be fun. Like a
checkered. Okay. Then like between that and like a green shade,
yeah,
brown and
make it a fun checkered.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do that then.
Thanks, Ange.
And well, we don't want it to be too
Too
clashing of color. So I think I'll do that like this brown and this yellow, and
yeah,
we'll brown and yellow kind of a theme. Yeah, yeah. Well,
that'd be fun.
so can you believe how fast this month went by?
Oh my goodness. And I feel like
It-
March is gonna be the same for me as well.
Well, it's kind of funny. It's like it's time is speeding by, but yet it seems like it's forever. It's going on
Mhm.
a forever, you know. And
Yeah, like next
and
month I fly down to Texas and I'll be seeing my son.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
So you
And then I'm
have
going to the rodeo down in Houston.
rodeo.
Mhm.
I have nieces and nephew who are in Fort Worth.
Oh, nice. So up north.
Yeah. Well,
My
Fort
son
Worth
said
is
it feels like it was just January yesterday. It does feel like it was just January.
yeah, yeah, and then our our country has changed too, and um, then maybe I
But you
don't
know what?
know.
It's always changing. It doesn't feel like
It
it's
is.
always. Yeah. Ange said, didn't we just celebrate New Year's? We did.
Yeah, yeah, we did.
And New Year's Eve is my son's birthday.
Mhm.
He's a New Year's Eve baby.
And so, how many children do you have? May I ask?
I have three boys. So
Three
20
boys.
is the youngest one, 23 is Tyler, the one that's on right now, and then 26 is my oldest.
Hold on, you don't look old enough to have a 26-year-old. You don't
Thank
look
you.
old. You don't look old enough to have a 20-year-old. I was like thinking that you were like 30 something.
Mm-mm.
Mm,
I
yeah.
wish.
Do you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in my 40s and I'm in college in my 40s, so
Yeah. I don't know. I thought being 20s was really rough. I remember that it's being a really rough decade. And
oh, I completely agree with you. 20s is rough.
yeah, I mean, I think it was almost worse than being a kid, because of
Mhm.
of when you're a child, you're going through, and that's where you learn to compare yourself to others, which you should never do, but somehow you
No.
still do
I mean,
it. And
subconsciously, I think you still do it.
yeah,
Um,
and that's also when you start getting these negative myths about yourself that you're like ugly, and then and there's very very few people who are born who are really hard to look at.
yeah. My son
You
said,
know.
"That's my mama." He goes, "Somebody thought we were brother and sister or boyfriend and girlfriend at a Giant Eagle," and it was true. Um, we went to go pick up alcohol, and I took my son in with me, and the lady cards me, and then she
Mhm.
cards my son, and she's looking at us because she sees the age difference, and I'm like, "Oh, that's my son," after she looked at my ID, and she goes,
Yeah.
"What? That's your son?" And I said, "Yeah, that's my son."
Hmm. Yeah. Interesting.
But my mom, she's 70 and she looks incredible, so I'm hoping I can look like her when I'm 70.
Yeah. People in my family have actually. My dad also looked kind of young. I didn't realize until I moved back this direction, and then my dad was like 70 something years old,
Mhm,
that he lost most all the hair off the top of his head, but he was like wearing a hat all the time.
and that doesn't help.
Well, that's why you're wearing a hat, so because
Mhm.
of the hair. And I've lost a lot, most all the hair off the top of my head too.
Oh, thank you, puppy.
Yeah.
I know my
Hmm.
son's afraid of that. He has a lot of hair, and he's afraid that he's gonna lose his hair because his dad's bald. But I
Yeah.
think
Well,
it isn't hair genetic from, your mom's side?
yeah, maybe, but it's like you get. Yeah, I don't know. It's it could be. I knew an old Indian who
I'm
he
only a
actually
year older, Ange. I'll be 44 in October.
he when he passed away, and he was like what, close to 90, and he barely started to go gray. He was like I think he was like an Oklahoma Indian, when a French Canadian.
Mhm.
Um, but his children weren't so lucky. And his
It
children,
happens.
yeah, they weren't so lucky in the not going gray department, and so but yeah.
Yeah, so Ange said she'll be 43 this year. I will be 44 this year. And
44.
then my son said I do wear hats a lot. I did tell you if I ever go bald, I'm tattooing my head.
He should just embrace it. Just
And
start
then Ange
running.
said hair loss is actually influenced by many genes from both parents. Genetics is very complicated. It's a chapter in nursing school I dreaded.
Mhm.
Thanks, Ange.
Most older people have to wear their hair shorter, and well,
Mhm.
I was like in my late 30s, and there was the barber shop that I always went to, and um and I always wanted this one particular lady to cut my hair because she reminded me of Daria. you know
Oh,
um
okay, yeah.
and I was like, for I found that Daria character extremely attractive, and then I thought she was extremely attractive too. And even though she wasn't available, but that really wasn't the thing. But I was like thinking, I was getting grayer, and I was asked, should I dye my hair? I was almost 40, and he says, I don't like fussing.
Wow.
And then I just like, all right, I'm not gonna dye my hair. I'm just gonna let it go. And that's exactly the I did. I just took that statement as, okay, well, I'm just gonna let it go. Go
So
gray.
so Anne said, "Bill, I could see you and Daria together totally now. We have to find Bill a Daria." I
I
agree
bet.
with you, Ange, because I when he said Daria, I automatically pictured that would be great. That would that's his perfect mate.
It would be my perfect mate. The
Mhm.
cartoon character.
And then you could have this 10 of cups.
Yeah, I could have the 10 of cups. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And I was like thinking the
Yep.
other day how how
Ange said, "Yes, match made in heaven."
I was like thinking how economically advantageous it would be to marry somebody who was tribal too.
Yeah. And she said, "Your personality's for sure so good." I agree with you, Ange.
Mm.
When he said Daria, I was like, "Yes, that's perfect."
Yeah, yeah. I like that
Mhm.
look, and yeah.
Nice.
Well, I like this checkered floor here. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
it's very fun.
Yeah,
Great,
yeah.
suggestion there, Ange.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's in the cards for me. But I could actually now I could see that I think I
Me
could.
too, Ange. She said she had fireworks in her brain, so did I. I was like, "Perfect."
When I mentioned Daria.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, it's that in that voice, and it's that Daria voice,
Mhm.
and that hairdresser. She had that Daria voice as well. She had the haircut, but then it was like the first time I had realized, oh, she's I'm married. Well, okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna. But I said I wasn't gonna be like one of those stupid boys and
Yeah.
hmm,
My son said yellow brick road.
yellow brick road.
Mhm.
Mm.
Which can be it because you are getting to the end of that road, the fulfillment part of it.
Yeah, this one's a little bit off there. It's all right. It's not about perfection. I really love folk dancing too. I haven't done it in a long time.
Folk dancing?
Yes, folk
So you
dancing.
dance, Bill?
I do actually. I'm a social dancer.
Oh, what kind of dancing besides folk?
Well, folk dancing is anything like square dancing and all those
Oh,
forms.
okay. Nice.
I'm a contra dancer.
A concert dancer?
Yeah, contra dance. Contra
Well,
dance. You have to look it up sometime.
hmm,
Look it up, and
you're
it
full
is
of surprises, Bill. First
the
you gave us Daria and then you gave us dancing.
contra dance is the predecessor to square dancing. So
Oh,
as
okay.
I understand how square dancing originated in the United States, it did not come from Europe, but contra dance did come from Europe.
Anne said conga question mark.
No. Contra, and it's
Contra, like contraband, but contra.
yeah, it means opposing lines,
Oh.
contradictory lines. And so in a contra dance, because it uses do-si dos and swings
Oh, okay. Boot,
and it's
scoot, and boogie.
a color based dance form. And then Petronella spins and
This is giving
and
me like Dirty Dancing vibes.
that what it is? Is
I
what you're
mean, because
thinking.
she was doing like all these different dances, like she was learning all these dances back in that time
Mm.
frame. So, like they were
Yeah.
doing like the foxtrots, and so it was giving me like I automatically thought Dirty Dancing.
Oh yeah. Well, I've watched Dirty Dancing quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That person who played that part was really good looking. But then again, they don't cast. They never cast people who are hard to look at. You know,
No,
that is the
although
main
Jennifer Grey doesn't look the same after she like had complete surgery on her nose. You can't
thing.
really recognize her.
People should never do that.
No, she shouldn't have. I think it was very distinctive and it looked, it was her.
Well, it comes from those insecurities.
Mhm.
from when you're in your childhood years, and then
Yeah.
all of that stuff, all of that stuff is just lies, nothing but lies, not lies
Hmm.
that you tell. And
You're right, Bill. It is lies. It's lies that we tell ourselves or other people tell us.
other people tell us. And the fact is, this is something that I've learned is I've most everybody leaves their teenage
Hmm.
years thinking they're ugly, and most people enter into their 60s thinking that they're beautiful,
Yeah.
regardless of what life has done to their body. Well, regardless, because it takes years and years and years to learn how to love yourself for who you were born, who your parents created you to be.
Yeah. And um, it could be even your same parents telling you you don't look pretty enough or you're too fat or your teeth are crooked or your hair is too frizzy or too curly or your skin's not flawless. It's
Yeah.
them telling you these things that you start to believe it.
Hmm.
So
So,
my son did lion teeth on here and then Ange did lion teeth question mark. So he made a clothing brand called Lion Teeth.
lion teeth. Oh,
Lying like lion teeth, yeah. So he has his clothing has some form of like teeth and mouth on there.
huh. And
Yeah,
that's what,
because
that's how he
he
makes
says
it.
that so he came up with that brand because we lie to ourselves and our loved ones too much, and it's a way to get away from that normality because you
Hmm.
do lie to yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I make the faces blue here just to be
Yeah.
kind of like my themes that I
Mhm.
have had in this book all along of having instead of having to be that more like the Hindu god like kind of a thing.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put a little bit of pink in here to distinguish them from the river, just a little bit. Now, what color do you want their boots and their clothes to be?
Um, can we do bronze again for their boots?
Okay, all right, I can go back into that
Mhm.
color. Where did I put those pencils? Oh, they're right here. Yeah, where did I put that out? So, do you have any?
That's the one way to do that ASMR.
Yeah, you could do that. All right, this here's a gold.
Yeah, we can do that one.
With that color, then I can put some of them other
Mhm.
things on there. Mm-hmm. We'll make the further one away a different color. Golden boots. So you both had a shared experience of hearing a voice.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think my husband's definitely picking up on a lot of like he's like those abilities. I think he's I mean, like I said, everybody has them. It's just not working with them, not first of all acknowledging that you have it and then harnessing it, working with it,
Hmm.
practicing. I mean, not that you can practice that kind of noise, um, but all your other clairs, you can practice those to kind of help get everything up in line. So yeah.
So what about their leggings, their hose that they're wearing? You want it like this pink color here?
Yeah,
Okay. Is it's kind of that festiveness that's
it
going on.
is.
Yeah. So do you have like any exercises for enhancing that? Or is that something that you don't choose to enhance the um
I
those listen?
mean, I feel like I always want to enhance it. I mean, I want to, as much as it sometimes is frightening, um, I'm now embracing that part of me, and I'm really liking the abilities that I do have,
Hmm.
even if it's painful or, um, yeah.
So your son says that he feels that I see and hear way too many things that aren't normal, and I create art to keep me sane from it all.
He
I've
does.
crafted art ever since I could craft or draw
Mhm.
through his
Yeah.
whole life.
He's a really good drawer. Um, yeah, he's always been very artistic.
I would. What about what about
Her
the
bustle and her dress.
yeah
Um, can we give her like a magenta dress, like a darker
magenta?
purple, pink color?
Okay, I saw that color in here that said it was just plain magenta. Um, I think it's over here. Rose pink. I think I've already pulled it out. Well, that's rose pink, not hose pink. I'm thinking, what would hose pink look like?
That's different.
Yeah, well, no, it's just the here it is, magenta.
So Anne said it's a gift, but some days it feels like a curse. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the best art was created because of just that.
Hmm.
Thanks, Ange. Yeah, that's very true.
You know that I had a question and I don't know where it went to. And
I went down that river.
yeah, went down the river. Question went down the river and it's gone now. And and yeah. Oh, actually, the one I guess I don't. Have you ever looked in on Tropical Empress Tarot's channel, and she goes on and does these 11, 12-hour long live streams?
Who does that?
She's Tropical Empress Tarot, and
No.
she's doing readings for like maybe
Good night, Alicia.
8 to 10 hours a day.
Oh, John's here. Hi, John.
Hi, welcome, John.
Alicia,
Yeah,
you're leaving right when the party is getting started with John coming in.
yeah. Hmm.
So, did
Yeah.
you have
So
pizza tonight, John? Cheese pizza?
cheese pizza.
It was like one of our chats that I think he was ordering pizza, and everybody in the chat wanted pizza.
Oh, I remember that was
Yeah.
that was. I remember that. That was a couple like last week or the week before. Now, what about this? Maybe you want a different color than his hose.
Let's give him.
You want it to be like bright yellow or something?
Yeah, it was that. That's fine. I was gonna say yellow.
Okay. So we're also while we're here, we're kind of working on our telepathy skills.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, so that's one way to work with it is
Hmm.
like you'll see people that have different crystals and they put them behind their back or whatever, and they say, or one crystal, what color crystal is in my hand? So you
Mhm.
have to really think about what it is that they have in their hand.
Well, I know that occasionally I I when I've had encounters with spirit, and then I go play my games, which are tablet slot machine games. Go figure. Well, you work in a casino and you like
Mhm.
gambling. I like gambling. All right, so I but one of the when it you're going after and you get the free points. There's like one of them that it has. It's like you can choose if you guess it right, then you get more points. Well,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes after I've had encounters with spirit, I can actually guess those things almost like 9 times out of 10. I can guess right when it's like a 50-50 chance of.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, so I'd like to think that it was something to that, but then I don't know. Maybe it's just you're just guessing the flip of a coin, and you can guess a flip of a coin 50% of the time as well. And yeah. So what about the little kitty here?
John. The kids, can we put her in a darker pink dress?
A darker pink dress.
Yeah. So John said he's been sick, so he slept all day. But then at the end, he says achy all over. Have no idea what's come a little, and he said, "Come a little closer, Roots."
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have to
Oh, John.
darken this pink dress up a bit.
And said, "Nope."
Yeah, I don't really like to. Well, excuse me.
Are you okay?
Sorry, it's just got a little dry here. It's like how
It
dry I
happens.
am. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So, what did you do when you worked in a hospital?
I'm in pharmacy, so I've been in pharmacy for
Oh,
23 years.
okay. Okay, I thought I knew that you were in
Mhm.
pharmacy. I didn't know if that was what you were in the
Which
past.
works well with making potions, because when I
Yeah.
was in a pharmacy, I mean, I did have to mix medication. I had to
Mhm.
compound ointments and creams and make suppositories, like the silver
Oh,
bullets. Mhm.
repository. Hmm.
Yeah, or like for a baby who had a really bad rash, you'd mix, Maalox with, I can't think of the other drug because I haven't made them in a while, and that kinda helps stabilize the rash.
Hmm. Well, that one just reminds me of a story that my dad used to tell. Let me see if I can remember it. What about the other kid first?
The dress,
Yeah.
do put her in, like, in a baby blue. Oh, no, it's gonna match her face.
You're
Purple.
purple,
Yeah.
straight purple. Okay, because we haven't really used the dark purple a little
No,
bit,
we haven't. Yeah, a little bit in the sky.
but yeah. So, anyways, um, I think this was like his an uncle or someone like that, because one of his old Swedish uncles. Anyway,
I
it
did,
had,
John. He
had an
asked, "You
issue.
custom-made suppositories?" I did. They're called silver
Oh,
bullets.
Erickson. That's my childhood friend is
Kirk
in the.
Erickson. Hi, Kirk.
Yeah, I shouldn't have. Yeah, I said that. That's my childhood friend. Um,
So I was just
in,
gonna say, but Ange told him the Ten of Cups represents divine love, blissful relationships, harmony, and alignment.
yeah. Yeah, and so anyways, um, a relative. This story my dad told, and they went to a doctor, and then um the doctors prescribed suppositories to him for some whatever the ailment was. I don't know what it was. And then, but then after a week or so, he goes back to the doctor, and they say, "Well, that suppository, that thing didn't work at all." Then
Yep.
he said it would have been better
If you
if I
took the
would have
foil
just,
off.
shoved it up my butt
Oh, was he taking it?
orally.
Oops. Well, now, like
Orally,
now they put on there to take the
taking
wrapper off.
taking the suppositories orally, and I don't know if it was a
That's
joke,
terrible.
but it probably was just a joke, but it made a funny joke and
Yeah.
story.
Well, that's like people that don't take the wrappers off when they do a suppository. I'm sure Ange has probably had encounters with that. And John's laughing.
There's that one show, House MD. Have you ever seen that
Oh,
one?
yes, I loved House.
Yeah, but I got like partway in, and I love the show up until the time he has that encounter with that detective. And then he seemed to be going more and more off the rails with everything, and trying to, with his drug habit and everything. And
Yeah, his Vicodin.
yeah, then I completely stopped watching that show because I think I just can't handle this guy. I can't handle
Or
this.
it was or for him it was is it's lupus, and then finally it was lupus because I have lupus, so when he would, go through these things and it was all it was just something that I always heard.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe I need to skip past that because that one's go up. But then I think it's that they ended up turning the whole crew over because there was that one
Mhm.
doc that girl doctor character in it, which she was. Oh, she wasn't quite a Daria like figure, but that was I can always like relate them all to if they look like Daria, then I'm gonna be uh, have crushes on my actresses or stuff
I
like that.
mean, why not?
Yeah.
So then Anne said the dark side to the 10 of cups can be overwhelming emotion, faking a happy life, misalignment,
Hmm.
a personal values, self-sabotaging
Yeah.
your chance for love.
Hmm. Well, here we are, and we're in it
Oh,
at 90 minutes, and I've had a really a delightful conversation with you. I mean, I'm
yeah,
sorry that
thank you. It has been fun. And then Anne says she has many suppository and enema stories for the medical field days.
yeah. Well, that would be like next time Ange has me on her show, she can tell them to me. Huh?
Yeah. And John it says, okay, share.
Yeah.
So my best friend in Texas, who I'm also going to go visit, she's a pharmacist, but her husband is a doctor. So every time I go and visit, like he's a primary care physician. Every time I visit, he always has some type
Mhm.
of a poop story for me.
Yeah, I remember because when I Kirk had told me a story because when a long time ago about it was like some oh it was some really horrible things that doctors tend to run into. They run
John
into.
said, "Code Brown at the Roots house."
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
John.
Mm. I'm gonna layer in some of this yellow in the whole
Mhm.
thing.
We do have the best stories, Ange, with the medical field. I've seen and heard so many things, and not from the nursing perspective, so thank goodness. I could never be a nurse because of the smells and the bodily fluids.
Mhm.
I can't handle that, but I'll stick to the pharmacy.
Yeah, huh.
That looks really good,
The
Bill.
best story. Yeah, so there it is. And then I have the job of putting my pencils back in order, and I'm gonna just turn the camera back the other direction here, just because I'm gonna make sure that wait, we don't want to look at that stuff over there. Um,
Who cares about the mess in the background?
me,
That's like the one time you said, "Don't look at the mess in the background," and you flip it over, and we saw everything.
I know. Here we go. I got my favorite Hawaii. Should I have two of these?
Mhm, and your Spam hat to kinda go with your Hawaii
Mhm.
vibe.
Go along with it, and Yeah, and my old person glasses. Yeah, well, that's what it is.
Yeah,
So what does
John.
John do? Is he also a medical professional?
I don't know, John. What do you do for a living? Dare we ask?
Maybe it doesn't really matter, does it? Well, we'll see you later, Kirk. Bye.
Hi, Kirk. Bill needs a lion t-shirt, lion teeth shirt for my son.
Shirt. Yeah. Hmm. We'll have to look that up. Lion teeth.
And that
Yeah,
spam hat, don't forget.
with the spam hat.
Yeah, my son said artists usually have a mess in a room. Our brains are too crazed, which
Well,
is
yeah,
very true.
it's the projects. You're working on the projects, and
You're a
then you.
carpenter, John?
So as
Hey
I'm
Tyler,
working,
when I see you in August, I'll pick up a shirt for Bill. What size are you in shirts, Bill?
I don't know.
Large?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I haven't bought any clothes for a long time. So I'm starting to work on making more of these things. And so this is on an art piece that I stopped working on like 4 years ago or 5 years ago and haven't finished it.
That's
Uh,
nice.
and so I'm just working on because there's a store that sells my cards, and so I once I get a design, I start working on trying to make a lot of them. And yeah,
So John, Ange said John works on his knees. He's a carpenter.
he works on
And
his
then
knee.
and then John, wait a second now.
Yeah, yeah. Wait a second. Yeah, yeah.
Oh God, I love this.
Yeah, I gotta. Well, carpenter. That's a.
Yeah, that's a very
That's a.
much needed profession.
It is, and it's a. It goes way back, and
Hmm.
the world wouldn't be
Or
our
look at the
world.
Freemasons, like that's where they came from.
Yeah,
My husband, yeah, he's a Freemason. I mean, I don't think he's a carpenter, but the backstory to that.
tell the secrets of carpentry. Lots of
Hmm.
work on. Well,
And laying down the foundation stone.
mhm. Yeah. So yeah, I used to do a lot of folk dancing, the contra dance, and
Contra.
then contra. Let's see here. Let's see if I can. It's usually to a lot of live music and uh,
You're the type of person to know, John. He said he can build a house and all the furniture that's in it.
I'm gonna do this without music because I might destruct. Um, if we can go in here and let's say people, that's
Oh,
you end up dancing with everybody when you're in this and you're in these lines and then you progress up and down the room in the lines.
oh, how cool is that?
And if you go to Folk Life in Seattle, the dance hall is so large that you could um I think you could fit like almost like a 500 people on the dance floor.
That's
Maybe
incredible. That'd be so much fun.
yeah. And so that's what the dances look like. It's
Hmm,
just it's a lot of fiddles, a lot of foot stamping, um, and it's much more popular on the eastern seaboard on the east coast than it is on the west coast. West coast people are kind of strange anyway because they're more well they got that whole a lot of the ones that have been here for 150 years they have that pioneering spirit
yeah, not the East Coast people.
or they have that desire to think well you know I think it would be better if and this is me thinking I think it would be better if Oregon, Washington, and California was its own country. I think
I
we'd be
love it.
better all the way around. That I think that way all the time, and it's like, um, but yeah,
It's a
that's
hell in a handbasket.
yeah, and but yeah, that's me. I hardly ever, I voice those.
Well, I like that. Yeah, that's I we didn't know. I mean, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, well, it's that because my peoples came, my Swedish peoples came in the 1880s,
Mhm.
and between the 1880s and the 19 teens, they came in, and there was two different waves of immigration, and um, then the rest of it was
Mhm.
Mayflower, and then there may have been some other lines that came in there that we don't really know about, and then there was Oregon Trail
Yeah.
covered wagon coming out here. My people who came out from Ohio, they came out on the Oregon Trail, but they went the southern route. The southern route, so they came. I think they took a train all the way to Sacramento, and then they took the covered wagon up from Sacramento up to Oregon City, and
Yeah. John, that's my son that's Crookedy Ty is my son.
I can seem
And
on
he
that.
and he is in Texas. He's in Houston.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
First,
his dad's side of the family, not mine. I'm a first generation American.
oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I grew up learning Spanish first and then eventually learning English.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just only know one language, the language of
What's
mediocrity,
I was gonna say BS.
language of BS. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just spamming it into you. Yeah.
No,
Anyways,
I
that's
love it.
well. Anyways, do you got anything exciting coming on your channel in the future? Near future?
I still have a bunch of videos to put up
Edit.
from my trip. I
Yeah.
did an oddities. I went to an oddities place. So if
Oh
you
yeah.
like to look at weird stuff,
Mhm.
I did upload that video already. But it was a really, really cool place to visit, you know. And she was very nice and let me I took my GoPro in there and videotaped the place.
Oh, that's
Some of the
good.
stuff I had to edit out because it was inappropriate for YouTube. Like the
Hmm.
nudity, they had um, pictures of the Black Dahlia. They had some uh, World War II stuff that was inappropriate. So, but it was a fun place to visit. They had a
Hmm.
lot of Freemason stuff there. So my husband was happy to see some of the old Freemason stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it was good. It was I do have Spanish roots, but my mom and dad are from Mexico, from Jalisco, which is where tequila comes from.
Tequila.
Mhm.
I like the Blanco tequilas.
Yeah, so if you actually, I did 23andMe, and my DNA is all over the world except for Russia, Australia, and then obviously nothing in Antarctica. But everything else is lit up on the map.
That is so true when it comes to people who
I'm gonna
people
pull it up on here. Yeah.
have and the seafaring, and they come from those when they come from like Spain and
Mhm.
Portugal, and it's like I have a one of my uncles is he immigrated from the Azore Islands, and I see you are all over the place, and
Yeah, me
his
too.
genetic is just like that. It's all over the world because
Yeah.
it's that whole, and then where mine, which is I have that
I'm
Puritan blood. I have that Puritan blood in me, and those Puritans and the Puritans and the Protestants, did not they did not venture outside of the color of their skin.
mm-mm,
And I have mine is just so narrow. It's Scandinavian.
that's my
It's
husband.
German, and it's English, and that's it. And then there's a small little tiny percentage that could be something else, but then they recomputed the database and it just vanished. And then but then it's like I look at it and it's like it's England, it's Scandinavia, Germany, and it's the Eastern United States.
John.
Eastern, yeah.
So,
I like.
do you tell them about the Vikings now, John?
The Vikings.
So I do have some historical matches on here. So I have like a St. Bryce Day massacre victim. My DNA matches a victim from St. Bryce Day massacre, and then as well as back to 800 CE, like in the Caribbean, and then Mayan sacrifice. So it's very, yeah, it's very all over the place.
So did you watch that movie with that Mel Gibson one, Apocalypto?
Oh yeah, did you see that?
I did. It's very hard to watch,
It is.
and I that also that Passion one that was even harder to watch. And I'm thinking, I think I watched that one like 2 times ever
Yeah.
again. Mel Gibson Passion one.
Yeah, the
And,
Passion one was really good.
it was, but it was just like, oh gosh, that was so dark. And I'm thinking,
Yeah, and I remember like we
know,
had to watch like the Schindler's List in school. That was a really hard one in high school to watch.
yeah, there was.
Mhm.
Looks like I froze.
Yeah, you did for a second.
I guess maybe it's time.
Yeah, this was fun. Thanks everybody. Oh, is Bill frozen?
Well, I'm not frozen anymore. I'm unfrozen. Unfrozen. Yeah,
He's back. He's back, Ange.
I'm back. I'm back. All right. Well, it's a pleasure. I'm John.
Yeah.
Not that it. Are you?
Yeah, John, where are you from?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say across the pond. Are you from across the pond, John?
Yeah.
Everyone's still talking about you glitching out.
He's looking out.
He's a
He's
Jersey
from
boy?
Jersey. Okay.
That's definitely across the pond.
Yeah. Well,
What's the other half, John?
half Italian. You.
Thanks for coming on, Tyler.
What
The other half is
I'm asking.
foul.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll just kind of wrap this up.
Yeah, sounds good.
And thank you for coming on again.
No
And
problem.
this was
It
good.
was
And
fun.
hold your 10 up here.
Yeah, I like that. Especially with the checkerboard floor.
Yeah.
That was fun.
There. Another practice in telepathy.
Yeah.
Mind reading here. Yeah. So today is still the 28th, right? But not for you, but it is
No.
for me.
Yep. Today's for me, it's March 1st.
28.
I can't believe
Coloring.
I didn't say your government name. I just said Tyler. I didn't say your full name, Tyler. You want me to say your full name, Tyler? Tyler Anthony Phillips.
All right. There we go. It is 228 coloring the essence of the moon. And then until the next time. And so I will be coming. Then I think the next person I'm doing is Elizabeth again. And we're going to do something just a little bit different.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think we might be starting that on Tuesday. Yeah. So,
Sorry, Ty.
yeah, it was nice to meet your son, Crook.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Crook D Ty, but his
Crook,
name is.
Crook tie. Okay.
You want some custom made suppositories? I'll be right on that, John. You want the foil on or off?
Yeah. He wants the tequila one. So
Oh, people do that
yeah, I
at
know they
like
do that.
college parties. Yeah.
And people have ended up dead doing that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, because of the alcohol absorption is so quick.
Yeah. I don't know why you want to waste good alcohol that way. You can't like
I
taste it.
know. Yeah. Yeah. Or like they do like a wine surprise me. Or they do like the wine ones too. Have you seen? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tequila suppositories. Oh no, so dangerous. What is
Yeah,
Ange?
yeah. Well, I like my tequila. I haven't had it since I started taking the metformin, but
Oh yeah, you can't do that.
no, yeah, yeah. It's like it's a sacrifice I made.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just getting old. I'm an old person. Almost. I'm
Oh
getting to be an old
no,
person.
Ange. Do you wanna read that, Bill?
Oh yeah, blowing coke up her.
Wow.
Yeah,
John, you brought on this conversation.
yeah. It's devolved. Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Oh, I love
Well,
it.
so it's been good. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
it
good.
has been. Thank you.
Oh, 2 months and you're
Mhm.
growing pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, I think I'm like at 150 now for 2 months.
yeah, that was about what I was after a year.
Well, look at you now,
Pretty
you're
close.
over 1,000.
Yeah, thanks to
Ramon.
Ramon. Yeah, to
Mhm.
Ramon. Ramon's very popular. It's all gone
It did,
south.
Ange. It has gone south.
Yeah,
South for the winter.
it'd be nice to have a yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna hang up here and
Sounds good.
thank
It was
everybody.
great, Phil. Thank you everyone in the chat.
Yeah. Sorry about any of the interruptions and whatnot. And so we'll see you all the next time.
Sounds
Bye
good.
bye.
Bye, guys.